Flawless nails straight out of the mold, these new sandwich dual forms claim that this is exactly what you will get when you use them. They include two parts. One form goes under the nail and another one goes on top. So I ordered these forms from two different suppliers to see if they actually work. Hello guys, I'm Anastasia, international nail expert and educator. They have two boxes. In one box we have regular dual forms, well, at least they do look like regular dual forms, and also they included this plastic spatula, which I assume is for separating this dual form from the product once you're done. And on another box we have bottom forms that are going to go under the nail. They feel much softer, they're more flexible, and they also have these areas on both sides which probably is going to be very convenient. So of course I'm going to be the first model to experience this new product, but I have some nails, so we need to remove them. It was hard gel, so I'm going to file it off with ceramic drill bit, and then we need some prep, so I will push back the cuticles. And normally when I prep my nails for any kind of nail extensions, it doesn't matter, tips, dual forms, regular forms, I always file my natural nails as short as possible because we don't really need that free edge. But for this technology, according to the tutorial that I've seen on Instagram of this manufacturer, I feel like we do need a little bit of the free edge. That's why I'm not going to file them super short. I'm going to leave a little bit of this white part of my free edge. And if you're wondering, what if I don't have anything on my free edge? Well, probably this technology will not be the best, because you definitely cannot do this with the nails like this that are extremely short and beaten and there's absolutely no free edge. Thank you for posting so many comments and questions in my community folder regarding this technology. I will definitely cover all your questions in this video. So after I do dry manicure and prep that I normally do, I'm also going to try this new hard gel. It's milky color with some dry flowers. I wanted to try it out for a while. So I had a weird feeling about this technology, so I thought I'm not going to do this primer, dehydrator, and base coat prep like I normally do. Instead, I will use peel-off base, so in case something goes wrong, I can take them off right away. And spoiler alert, well, for some reason I wasn't able to peel it off from my nails with the product on. Well, anyways, we need to use peel-off base to install this bottom form. So we apply a little bit on this dual form and then place it right under the nail. Make sure that it's straight, that it's not going upwards or downwards to the sides, and there should be no gap between the nail and this bottom form. And then you flash cure it, usually that's enough. I decided to try dual form application approach, one of the techniques that I use. So first I build the free edge of the nail, then I flash cure it for a few seconds, and then I take more product and build the center of the nail, and then I place it on my nail. So it helps me to control the product a little more, so I will know that at least this part that is on the free edge is not going to move too much once I install it on the nail. Then I take it and place it on my nail, and it feels so weird because usually with dual forms there's nothing underneath, so there's nothing on your way. And here I was really worried, what if I'm going to press too hard and I will ruin this form on the bottom? I cured it for 1 minute and couldn't wait, just wanted to remove it right away, and oh my god, we have flawless, perfect underneath. This is one of my least favorite fingers, my ring finger, because it's looking to the side and it also has this weird U-shaped C-curve. I really hope that it's going to go smooth, so I also apply this peel-off base underneath, then I cure it, and on this nail I decided to try a slightly different approach. So If you are one of those nail technicians who are like me, who use traditional paper forms a lot, I want to say that this technology is very, very similar. If you know how to fit the paper forms correctly, then this part is exactly the same. Sometimes it will not perfectly match with the curve of your nail, so you will need to cut it and to customize it, to adjust it. But the application is very similar. So one of the questions in my community tab was, can you use these bottom forms just the same way as you would with paper forms? Well, absolutely, yes. This is also one of the first things I thought. This is what I'm doing now. The gel I'm working with is medium thin consistency, so it's a little runny, and you can see how it's running to the side walls right away. But this is actually pretty convenient. I mean, it's not flooding my skin right away, it simply stays there. So then I flash cured it for about 15 seconds, and then I take the dual form, the top part of this system, and apply some product on the top. But I also keep in mind that we already have some product on the nail, so I should apply like less product that I normally would. And then I press it on the nail, and once again it feels so weird because normally there's nothing underneath. And I press it and I cure, and wow, we do have flawless underside of the nail, we have flawless top of the nail, but we also have some hollow space. So my mistake here was I did not take enough product on the form that goes on top. That's why we have this big bubble in the center. So now we have two options. We can file it off, we can redo the nail, or I decided just to fill in this area and leave this bubble. So here the trick is simply to understand the right amount of product you need for both forms, and I think that's pretty much it. So anyways, let's continue, because normally if you want to understand the new product, the new technique, you need to do it multiple times. Trying something on just one nail simply will not give you enough information. So I did the same thing. I installed this on my nail with a peel-off base coat, and then I'm building this foundation first. I'm starting to like it, guys. So yes, these bottom forms absolutely can work like regular paper forms. Like I said, they probably will not work for everyone. Nails are super short and beaten, then yes, it will not work, but for most standard nails, I think this is actually a great technique. Then I flash cure it again, then I apply the product in the form that goes on top, press it on the nail, and now the most important thing is to press it enough. And once we do, we have this perfect underside of the nail. Look how shiny it is. It feels exactly like sculptured nails on paper forms, as well as from the top. So these things on the sides are the only parts that we do not need there. So this is basically the only thing you need to get rid of and to file it off. And also, if you accidentally took too much product, your nail will simply become too long and you will need to file them shorter. But that's it. This nail is truly flawless on the top and on the bottom. So I'm not going to lie, I am impressed by this technique. And of course, with my first try, I wasn't able to take the right amount of product, so I made them extremely long. Once you file the nails shorter, then we have this thickness of the nail, so I ended up filing them underneath too. But let's try these different forms from Mr. Nail. They come in one box, and once I opened it, I realized that they are exactly the same. So we also have the top form and the bottom form. However, I do find it very convenient when you have everything in just one box instead of two. They also have 15 sizes, which I think is great because you will probably find the size that fits every single nail. Like the 01 is rather big. It's even big for my thumbs, and I have big hands. They also sent me some products. So this is a clear gel, and I'm not sure that I want to try it, at least with this technique, because it's so runny. For dual forms, runny gels are the worst. So maybe I will try it later for something else, but definitely not today. And also, I have these two new gels. It says that this is polygel, but it is definitely a hard gel. And they have super thick consistency, which in my opinion is great for dual forms techniques. They also have really nice colors, so I think I'm going to give them a try. So when the gel is super thick, when it's not runny, it's actually very beneficial for dual forms because you can place them on a certain spot and it's not going to run right away. It's not going to flood your skin that fast. All right, so now I'm going to use the same technique. By the way, on my previous hand, I was using different sizes. Let's say I take number 7 bottom form, and then I realized that number 7 top form does not fit that well. So I took a different size. And what I learned is that taking one size up or down is fine. Let's say number 6 and number 7. But if you mix and match number 3 and 6, now this is a bad idea because I did it on one of my nails on my left hand, and later I realized that this was a bad idea because these forms are built in the way that they perfectly match with each size. That means that you need to find the size that perfectly fits your nail on the bottom and then check the form that goes on top and also see if it fits, because if it doesn't, then maybe you need to look for another size. So anyways, let's apply the hydrator, non-acid primer and base coat and cure them. And with these nails, I'm going to use this technique because I like it way better. First, I'm going to build the foundation. Same thing with the peel-off base coat. I apply it on the nail, I flash cure it. This gel is very thick. It's not self-leveling, unlike medium consistency gels. It is going to be a challenge to apply it perfectly. Actually, it's almost not possible to do it that way. But that is not going to be a problem because remember, that's not the finished nail yet. We will have more product coming with the top form that will help us to make the surface flawless and perfect. So all we need to do here is to make sure that we have enough product along the sidewalls, that the sidewalls are perfectly in the same line with the nail. So this part is very important, and it 100% reminds me of the exact same process that we do with paper forms. I noticed some of you sent some comments that this is going to be perfect for beginners. Well, my opinion now is that this technique is great and it will be rather easy to understand for anyone who's familiar with traditional paper forms. If you know how to fit them, if you took one of my classes like level 1 or 2, because we spend a lot of time fitting the forms there, then you will easily understand it because the process is exactly the same. You can cut them if it doesn't perfectly match to the shape of your nail. You need to check if it's straight, if it's not looking to the sides. So it's very similar. But if you've never tried paper forms, if you've never ever dealt with them, then it might be a challenge for you. So I definitely cannot say that this is a simple technique for beginners. Definitely not. I applied it the same way on my thumb, and then I let it go for just 2 seconds, and look what happened. We have a huge bubble in the center, so I have some hollow space on my nail, and also I didn't press it down enough, so on the free edge it's also extremely thick. So this technique is not that easy. With gel, unlike with polygel, you cannot let it go. So on my next nail, I have this U-shaped C-curve, which no way is going to perfectly match with any of these bottom forms because they all have this perfect rounded curve. That's why doing this foundation layer first is very beneficial. Besides building the free edge and sidewalls, I'm also going to build this area and make sure I fill it in. So we will not have any empty spaces or hollow spaces. So when I apply the product, there won't be any space for the product to squeeze out of it once we apply the upper form. So then I apply more product in the form that goes on top. Then we cure it, and oh my god, okay, I think I finally got it. I got the result that I wanted so much. We have perfect, flawless underneath of the nail as well as the top. What I really like the most about it is that this underneath of the nail is shiny, exactly the same like you will get with traditional paper forms. I'm not gonna lie, I've tried so many techniques, so many different ways, and with dual forms, yes, you are able to do perfect, flawless nails, but they still look a little different. Now, this is probably the first time I felt like this is so close to this perfect competition level sculptured nails. There were many questions how this technique is different from if you use a paper form underneath and then you take a dual form and apply it on top. Well, technically there's no difference. This is exactly the same idea. You have something on the bottom that will make you have this perfect underside of the nail. So you can use paper forms if that's what you prefer. For me personally, some benefit that I see is that this sidewall, something we don't have on paper forms, because with paper forms, all this excess product that is going to go outside of the forms will flow to the sidewalls and go down. Well, that's for me is a little disadvantage. While here we have the special areas for this product to go to. But other than that, yes, this is absolutely no different. So you can definitely use that technique and get almost the same result. Meanwhile, I'm finishing this next nail and I feel like I finally got it. It always takes a while to understand this new product, this new technique. I really prefer doing it this way for now. Building the foundation first, then taking more product on the upper form and then place it on the nail. Then I flash cure it for a few seconds just to make sure that it's set, and then I fully cure it for another minute. So once we take the both forms off, I just cannot stop looking at this flawless surface of the nail from both sides. Remember what happened to my thumb? It was terrible. It has this big bubble in it, so I took it off and then I thought, wait a minute, do we actually need to use builder gel? Why not use polygel? So I decided to give it a try too. So let's do the same, why not? Fit the bottom form first with peel-off base coat. But since my thumb has this really weird C-curve, it's like super flat. So first I fill this area with the builder gel just a little bit, just to make sure that I will not have this empty space. And then I decided to take almost half of the tube of polygel. Anastasia, seriously? Like, remember this big bubble I had? Probably after that experience, I thought, okay, no way I'm going to do that again. So I took too much product, obviously. Oh well, I still decided to go with it. For this technique, we do not need any product on the bottom. We just go right away with polygel, we press it, and whoa, it works great. Well, yes, there's way too much excess product and this nail is extremely long, but other than that, it's just perfect. And look at this, all this excess product that goes on the sides, you don't even need to file it off. We can just carefully remove it if you did everything correctly. This sandwich technique is really cool, but these products definitely need some more work. If you noticed, I do have these lines remaining on my nails because for some reason they added this line in the center and these curved lines, but they leave these marks on the surface of the nails. I really wonder why they did that, because if they did that on the opposite side of the form, then we would have this flawless nail that will not even need a top coat. It will have this perfect shine right away. But because we have these things, it will definitely need some buffing and filing. So I did some filing, and unfortunately I had to file my nails underneath too because I did them just extremely long. I really want to have something shorter for now, but that's it. All you need to file is just slightly the sidewalls. One of my colleagues shared this opinion about this product, like, it takes so much time, it's going to take you 3 hours. And I'm not going to lie. Guys, keep this in mind. I use my non-dominant hand to do this hand, so yes, it took me a while because I was trying something new. But it's always like that. Whenever you're doing something that you know how to do, something familiar, of course you're going to do it faster and better. And whenever you try something completely new, it's going to feel weird and uncomfortable, and that's totally fine. It took me longer than usual, yes, absolutely. But let's face it, once you get it, once you understand how to fit these forms correctly, the application process is just 1, 2, 3, and we already have these flawless nails. Now imagine if fitting both of these forms will take you faster, like 10 minutes. Now this application will be really fast. For now, the biggest disadvantages of this technique definitely are that they are not going to fit everyone. If you do not have any free edge, then that might be a challenge. I was really curious to try different forms, but for some reason I received only square shape, and the one that I ordered was square too, so I really hope I will get a chance to try almond sandwich forms. But overall, I will definitely give it like 7 out of 10 because this exact product needs some improvements, but the idea of this bottom form and top form working together, I think is great, and with some adjustments I think it will work just fine. So I am excited to use this product in the future. Let me know what you think about these forms. If you tried them, what's your experience and what is your opinion on this new product? If you enjoyed watching this video, then you definitely need to check out this one because I'm using dual forms too.